Yo, what is up, guys? Jetxc here, and we're going to be looking over the Gacha revenue charts from Sensor Tower. Now, I just want to state, guys, a lot of people get into a lot of beef between certain Gacha games, but these really aren't the most accurate. I mean, even for CN, there is like a whole calculation for Chinese revenue. PC revenue isn't shown. Other non revenue from other regions isn't shown, or that isn't iPhone, right? So it's not the most accurate again, and I think a lot of people have to really keep that in mind. So this is just like somewhat of a minor placeholder to get whatever information we can, right? So let's go over it. Honkai Star Rail 67 mil and LND 62, Genshin 45, cool, right? Let's get into a lot of the stuff that I cover on this channel. So NIKKE at 18, or no, excuse me, NIKKE at 14 mil from 18 mil. Now, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm not expecting NIKKE to be going too crazy anymore. Like going from, oh, they made 25 to 30 million this day, they made 25 million this month. NIKKE has kind of settled in its audience. The past like 3-4 months of NIKKE, guys, has been pretty consistent, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, NIKKE has like been out for just about 2 years, so we've really gotten around this number for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 months now. I really maybe, and I'll be very curious to see how they do during Annie, but that's a whole nother thing. But NIKKE has kind of been on a drop consistently within the 10 to 15 million range, kind of there on average, right? Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just really think NIKKE has kind of settled into where there's really not that many more people getting into NIKKE. And that's fine, right? Now, I am going to be super curious how they do with Quincy, because this month we're getting Quincy. Phantom, I don't really care too much about, but I really want to see them do how they're going to do with Quincy, because I feel like Quincy is the perfect character that NIKKE players like just love and enjoy because of the fan service aspect, and she's got a decent kit. So I hopefully they do way better this month when it's over for October, before the Annie, right? Because I really want to see a character like Quincy perform really well on these charts. But again, we'll see. Like I said, though, NIKKE is kind of settled in its place. I think in order for them to really push it to where they were doing 27, 32, 30 million, I really think they got to start. Listen, I've talked about it plenty of times. I think they got to start coming out with more characters like Quincy. I think they need to start adding more skins to the costume shop, and I think their gacha skins have to be a lot better, right? I made a whole video talking about how the skin for Red Hood, even though it's free and it's supposed to be gacha skin like, I really do think it's better than a majority of gacha skins, except maybe one, right? So hopefully they can really do those minor things, and I truly do believe that the revenue will shoot up to where it was back in like over 21 mil, 20 mil, even 27 mil, right? So that's something to keep in mind for them. Now, just a quick peek. Azure Lane did kind of crazy. I know they had like the NIKKE skin for that one character, and they honestly they've been cooking with a lot of skins. They had the racer skins too as well. So, bro, Azure Lane, man, like I'm playing it now. The gameplay is atrocious, bro. But I'm trying to get to the point where I can farm up and just do my dailies so I can collect skins. But my god, it's tough. I'm not gonna lie. But Azure Lane, I don't see Azure Lane kicking the bucket for another like 10 years, bro. I'm gonna be honest. They have hit the jackpot when it comes to their formula for waifu collector. Okay, let's continue down. Weathering Waves. Now this is a big one. Weathering Waves was from 13.5 to 6 mil. Now, we know PC is definitely a very, very huge indicator for sales for Weathering Waves. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys, this really doesn't matter. I know people are going to shit on Weathering Waves, right? But, right, so if we take a look at Global, it made 4 million, and then CN, it made 2.75. And again, we don't really have the numbers that much for CN. and we don't have the numbers that much for non-iOS devices. So you have to take a lot of this with a huge grain of salt. I really want to tell you guys, Wuthering Waves is just fine. Wuthering Waves had made back, I guarantee you they've made back their money within the first like month, maybe even 2 months of the game coming out. So right now they're just floating, essentially. Tower of Fantasy has been out much longer than Wuthering Waves, and Tower of Fantasy, they're willing to keep going for the next like 6 to 10 years, as far as I know. So TOF has had worse results than WUWA, and TOF, I mean, they make like anywhere between 500K to $1 million, depending on the update, and maybe a little bit more than that each month. So again, guys, Wuthering Waves is at a good spot. Shorekeeper just came out after this, so I think Shorekeeper is going to really get people hyped. I was hyped for Shorekeeper myself. So Shorekeeper is amazing. Yeah, I think we're gonna see Wuthering Waves go up, but I don't want to get into the, oh my god, Wuthering Waves is trash, garbage, bro. Wuthering Waves, for me personally, it is one of the funnest experiences I've had with an open world gacha. I do have minor gripes with the story, and those gripes are just like, they make things overly complicated and they add words and terms that really don't need to be added. They can make it way simpler. But other than that, the story has been great. The characters have been hitting, guys. Oh my god. Like I said, Shorekeeper, whew, so fine. Anyway, yeah, shout out to Wuthering Waves. They're still doing great overall. We'll see how they do next month. Okay. Epic 7, I'm always glad to see Epic 7 doing good, man. I saw that Harsetti trailer. Oh my god. I thought Luna was hot. Harsetti is, wow. She is something else. But yeah, good for them. Let's see. SNOWBREAK. Now, we know that 70% of revenue for SNOWBREAK, guys, is on PC. So the fact that SNOWBREAK globally is making this much money on mobile alone is actually pretty great. So looking at this, okay, if they made 3.8 last month, the numbers came out for PC. They come out like a week or two later, and they made around 25 to 30 mil. Or no, it was around 30 million. Yeah, 30 to 35 mil. So based off of these numbers, they probably made the same amount. Another 30 to 35 million. Because you have to consider PC numbers. It's huge in Japan as well. So there are a lot of things that come into play when it comes to SNOWBREAK. So SNOWBREAK is doing extremely, extremely well, guys. Trust me. Trust me. Especially in China and JP. Global has the least amount in terms of popularity, but they are doing fantastic. Trust me, guys. SNOWBREAK is fine. They honestly, they make more money than NIKKE. I would wholeheartedly say that with my chest. They make more money than NIKKE nowadays. And they will probably continue to. They've been on the same trend for like the last 3 months, and they've been making consistently 30 mil, 30 mil, 30 mil. This is combined with like PC sales. Again, these are like estimated predictions for PC and all that stuff. So yeah. Okay. If we keep going, sort of Convalerian went way down. Holy shit. Okay. They're settling in, I guess. We got AFK Arena went down. Let's see. Okay. BRWONDUST2. Now, BRWONDUST2 at the beginning of the month, they were just ending a bunch of banners, Therese banners, I think Morphe banner, and the Eclipse banner, I believe, came out for another week during this month. So we got the full Eclipse banner on the month of September, right? So this is like that combined with Levia. They made about 1.5 mil, which is great. Honestly, them making $1 mil a month is fantastic. It's a lot more consistent than what they were doing at the beginning of BRWONDUST2. I know there's like a minority of people that want like male characters, but honestly, I think the waifu route for them has been working, right? In December, I'd say January is when they started just adding, when they started the no female thing. January is kind of when they that's when they had the bunny girl stuff, right? So from January, February, March, April, then they started getting way more lewd, and honestly, I think it's worked out for them. Again, we only have global numbers and global we can't see everything for BRWONDUST2. If I had to say, they probably in the 2 million mark. There's no way for us to really count Taiwan, JP. Actually, does this include those? Let me see. I don't think so. No, it doesn't. This is just global. Okay, so this is global plus Japan. I think global does include CN. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Well, okay. Never mind. Not CN. Korea. So there's a lot of factors here, but I'd say if we're factoring in all the other avenues for BRWONDUST2, they probably made over 2 million. So yeah, we'll see how the collab does for BRWONDUST2. I think it'll be really good. Lastly, the last thing I'll say about BRWONDUST2 is that it's super generous. And I really do think they have to find something separate from the costumes to sell. And you know, you guys have, if those have watched my channels, I've suggested like live 2Ds quite a bit, because I really do think that's the only thing that will really help sell shit for BRWONDUST2, since it's so generous. The majority of players honestly just collect for the home screen that are casuals, and they're really not into meta like that. Like, the only reason I spend money on BRWONDUST2 is to +5 a character. That's really it. I don't care about buying extra material to... I'm not doing all that. So I think when they add live 2Ds in the future, I think that'll be something that they could sell for like $20, $25. I don't know, whatever they want to sell it for, and that'll be a huge thing for them, because it's kind of become a waifu collector now. And the way they could do it is, let's say they have a new costume. As long as you have that costume, you have the option to buy this separate interactive mode for this character that has this costume, right? And if you don't buy it, that's cool. You still have the costume that has its own skill effect and damage for the character, so whatever. That's something that they could do. But yeah, good on BRWONDUST2, man. Good for them. Okay. Let's see. Cat Fantasy. So Cat Fantasy making 1.2 mil. Good for them. I do like Cat Fantasy. I love their gacha skins a lot. However, Cat Fantasy, I just wish their dailies weren't so long, man. They're doing pretty good in terms of JP and global. So, yeah, honestly, it's probably good. This is good for Cat Fantasy. And we don't have Korea numbers. We got to understand that too. So, yeah. My biggest gripe with them is their dailies. Otherwise, I do enjoy Cat Fantasy, although I haven't played in probably almost a week. So, Girls Frontline 2, make it a mill. They'll soon come to global. Good for them. Yeah, TOF 850k. Like I said, if TOF is surviving, guys, then Wuthering Waves is just fine. Outer Plane 500k. Cool. Yeah, guys, I think that's about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Very, very interesting stuff. I'd love to hear what you guys think about everything. Shout out to BRWONDUST2, NIKKE, Wuthering Waves, SNOWBREAK. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff, guys. All right, I am out of here for this month. Later.